Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We got another episode, as always, every week. And drove all the way to Dent for this one, and I promise you it was worth it, even though it hasn't happened yet. But I'm excited to learn about, because I'm here as like a fan that just found you guys, and I'm really excited. But we have Near.
Hey. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us on.
Okay, and then I caught your name, so Sam, and then
Jordan.
Yeah. I forgot. Okay, sorry about that. But how you guys doing today, guys?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Chill.
Good. Yeah, I haven't seen you guys since actually the festival. I've missed a couple shows, but you guys have been busy. I keep seeing your names pop up on like shows just like left and right. Is that normally how you guys like to keep traction going? Just like play a lot of shows frequently?
Yeah, we've been playing a couple of shows, probably a couple of shows a month, and it started to die down nearing the end of the year, I think, because we're gonna start recording soon, so we're kind of getting ready for that.
Getting ready writing. You guys released something this year. Was it early in the year? I just saw. I just noticed the year 2021, but I didn't actually get to see what like month it was.
Yeah. We did. We released our self-titled EP. It's called Have Near, and we had a couple singles off at the beginning of it too. But yeah, it's 6 songs. We released that in March.
That was this year,
isn't it? It feels like way longer.
Does it feel
ago, right?
like a lifetime ago?
I feel like
2 year.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I was like when you were saying like, oh, we're writing again. I was like, you guys just released something this year.
No, it really feels like a year ago. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had someone talking to me just last week, joking like, so what are you guys just gonna release like 3 songs a year and just call it? Like, never gonna release an album? Like, what's the deal? Like, but yeah,
that's kind of like the writing process for like albums and things. It takes a lot, I guess, to sit down and write an actual like full length like album.
Yeah.
But it's easier for me, like, oh, inspiration striking, let's write a song like right now and we'll figure out what to do with it, like kind of thing. Do you guys approach writing in that way, to just write a song in the moment, or are you guys trying to branch off and do kind of like more connected, I guess, projects?
I think it would be cool to do a connected project eventually, like an album. I just want to make sure we all like the style of music and are like going in the same direction by the time we do that. So maybe that's on the horizon. I think for now, like, it's been nice to, when we have an idea, we're not like, bound to wanting to fit that within an album. We just have an idea and we like it, so we go with it right then. That's how it's kind of been lately, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So the process is usually like Sam sends us. It's cool because he kind of plays all the instruments.
Okay.
So he'll send us a demo. And it's great because he doesn't have to explain, like, try to talk, like, drum language or something. Like, he can just send me audio of him playing it. And then, so usually he sends us, like, an idea. And then he's like, okay, y'all kind of base it off this, but, like, write your own parts.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming up with the structure and, like, most of the musical material. But then he kind of lets us, like, interpret that how we want.
So it's kind of like, here's, like, a skeleton, an outline of kind of what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And then just lets you kind of take the idea from there and kind of run with what you want to add to it, what you kind of want to change about it and still write that way. That's really cool. The fact that you can play everything, that's gotta like add to those demos. But I see like literally every instrument in here, so I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, you know. What I mean? And that's cool that you like have. I'm assuming like you have your own studio space to record all of that stuff to send it.
Yeah, this is a studio. It's called Far Out Sounds. I've kind of had that name, that kind of studio brand for a while. I just haven't kind of launched it yet. It's been kind of low-key for a while, just word of mouth. But I've been kind of getting ready to do that soon now that we just moved into this house, me and my roommates, during the summer. And this is like the first real like space that I felt comfortable like naming it, branding it, and keeping it, I'm thinking that we're going to stay here for a little while. So
it's a really nice space. When I looked at it, that's what I was like, is this I thought it was like, is this function just like as a room, or is it a studio? But this is like a perfect spot for it. And it's like, I like that it's completely separate, you know, from the rest of the house kind of thing. But it's a wide space to get in here. Like, it feels like creative. Like, I walked in here, I was like, let's write something. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
It's like, forget the podcast, let's get to writing. But that's cool. So that's cool. That's cool that you're like looking forward to launching. So you've worked on like some projects, not only your own, but I'm assuming like you.
Yeah, definitely. I've recorded just in the last month. I've been working with, I think, 4 different bands.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So it is like starting to.
It's starting to pick up. Like the more I work with somebody, like I think the word carries fast. And I haven't like launched a website or anything yet, but it's gonna happen soon. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like with Have Near, it's a really nice space to be able to practice in and write, and you know, having it as a studio kind of makes it easier to record those demos.
Yeah,
because all the gear is just right here, and honestly, it makes band practice easier too. Not because everyone doesn't have to lug their gear to practice. There's already a drum set here. There's already all the amps and everything are here. That's
pretty great.
That's literally probably something everyone else in the band is like grateful for.
Yeah.
What I like about it is that yes, you can record, you can have band practice, but you can also. One thing I learned when I was playing in a band is that during the practices, you have those moments just in the middle where you just need to like take a time out, just like, hey, okay, let's vibe out for a second. And this has like a little lounge area where you're like, oh, okay, let's just hang out for a bit in the space without having to leave, without having to like really like get out of the creative zone, and then just immediately get right back to it. So that's where, I mean, when we were starting off with my band, which we were in a metalcore band called Under Oblivion, there was times where we practiced. We used our neighbor's garage because they had one, and they were like, yeah, you can practice in there. And then for a while, we practiced just in the front yard. Like, I had to go around.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I literally had to go around, and I asked, like, every neighbor, and I was like, hey, we're going to be practicing. And it was only, like, one day a week where we would do that. And it was Sunday. It was not early in the morning. It was not late at night. It was right in the middle. I was like, we're going to be doing this. If you have something going on, I go, here's my number. Call me. And only one time did we ever have a problem with, like, the cops, but nobody called them. They were just driving by, and they decided to like make up that someone complained, but nobody did. Like, there was no report about it. So they were like, okay, and because we were like, you know, if it's a noise complaint, we'll stop. And he's like, no, I need to run all your information. And I'm like,
what?
That's not like what you're supposed to do. I was like, I live here. I was like, sure, run mine. He's like, no, I need everyone's. I was like, that makes no sense, dude. Like, we are inside of the yard.
That's weird.
Just so weird. But no, so this place has definitely got to be like a blessing and like a kind of little place where you guys can get creative. But the recent project, you guys have done a few videos for it so far. Do you guys work with the same like videographer every time you guys do that, or because I saw the one for I think it's Lily, and that one like looked incredible. Like, it looks so good. Like, as far as like what you guys were doing in the actual video. But the quality of that video was really nice. Like, it really went and kind of matched the tone of what you guys were doing with the song. So I really enjoyed that video.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I have to give it up to Thomas Blanks. He was the director of photography for that, and then Andrew Valentine directed it.
Okay.
So those two guys were both friends of mine from college, from film school, and now both,
it makes sense.
They're both doing like big things. So Thomas, I think he was on the set of a Tyler, the Creator video a couple months ago, and he's doing stuff where like they'll just fly him out to Hawaii or LA or wherever. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's doing great, man. It's great to see like that happening for people who we've worked with. We're hoping to do some of the same stuff again. That video was so easy too. It was like one spot. We were in a garage.
That's what I noticed. Yeah. I was like, I think it's like just one spot, like creating it, but like the props for it, like just everything, just the way that flowed. So yeah, props to definitely both those people because it looked amazing, but also the way stuff played out in the video was really like smooth and nice going and like transition well into each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say they definitely worked like really well together on that.
Yeah, I think a girl named Samantha McDaniel, she was the one that kind of was like the prop designer, like a lot of the set design with like the metallic blankets and the Christmas lights and all those like the cool ideas in that video. So yeah.
I thought those were the firing blankets they put when you're in shock.
Initially,
because you guys ripped them, and I'm like, wait, are they those? Like, I thought they were thicker than that, but I'm like, so you guys just like tear them off. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
I don't even know what they were.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but you guys, I saw like you had a bunch of videos. The other one I saw was, I guess the last song on the latest.
The acoustic song. It was too late.
Yeah, that one. That one has some like horn instruments in there, right?
Yeah.
Are those that was I just like I freaked out. Like honestly, I started hearing, I'm like, what is that playing in the background? I don't know like what they were, but I'm like, that sounds lovely. Like, I was like but they sounded like someone was recording them. Like, is that like one of the guys in the band, or is that like one of your...
Those were some people I met actually through Jordan. The horn player, it wasn't a trumpet.
Flugelhorn?
A flugelhorn.
A flugelhorn.
So it's a little bit...
That went fancy.
It's a little bit more mellow than a trumpet. I think it's got a bigger bell, and it's like just a little bit more... Warmer. Yeah. Whereas trumpet's like brighter. But yeah, that was our friend Austin Ford. And then there's a flute player who was a friend of my roommate's. Her name was Tara. And yeah, both of them, I just like reached out. No one in our band plays horns.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering. I'm like, if they do that, it's like, that's cool. If not, like, it's... I actually wanted to hear if it was somebody that you knew, like, because that's one thing I've been noticing in talking to a lot of people is all these like connections that you can use and like take like just like normal conversations are always like, it's weird to me to think about them this way, but they're like networking, and I'm like, I used to always think, and I keep saying this, I was like, networking was like these events you had to go to, like all dressed up, but it's all just this, you know what I mean? Talking to a friend of a friend who like, oh, you play the horn, it's like, hey, can you be on this song? And it's like, oh, sure. And that's the way you meet, and you create these things that, you know, like you said, no one in the band plays horn, so you wouldn't have had that without like making those types of connections and meeting people who just also like maybe on the same type of like journey you guys are musically. And like, yeah, like I want to be part of something. Like working with other people is really nice in music because you get to experience like a different type of writing and something additional to add to the band, which I know you also play in a different band, right? So do you? Yeah. Does that normally like bleed over, like influence into this? Is it? I know it's a little bit different.
That's so funny. Just like two weeks ago or something, I was talking in our group chat about how it is. I've really noticed how both of my bands that I'm in influence each other a little bit. Like I've heard riffs that those guys in Bad Dad Jokes where I play drums, that I've heard riffs that they play, and like I've listened to it and I'm like, wow, that sounds really nice. Like, let me try to figure out these chords. Like, what if I could like, you know, write something that sounds kind of like that, because I love that sound. And then same vice versa, I guess, like those guys in that band like heard music that we're writing right now, and they like it, and then maybe just subconsciously I come up with a riff that sounds in that same style or whatever. Same style. Yeah, so definitely like just the whole like community, everything that we're around, all the music, like I think one way or another like makes its way into what we write. I think that's just a general thing for artists, like whatever you're listening to kind of in one way or another comes out into what you're writing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no way like it couldn't like bleed over into each other, and I feel that just inspired, like it's like you were saying, you take some of the same similar riffs and learn the chords, and like, okay, how do I translate this into something that we could use, like with Have Near, and I feel like a lot of artists do that, and artists that don't, or like musicians that don't try to learn from like other people, kind of limit themselves a little bit, but because your influence comes from all over the place, like who knows what you're listening to or what you're playing.
Who knows what I'm listening to?
What are you listening to today?
Today I listened to Beach House's new EP. I like that a lot. And then Spirit of the Beehive, which is like kind of a psychedelic rock band. They just put out it was a single but with 2 songs on it. Like it's called The Door, and the door is closed and the door is open. Those, dude, I'm gonna listen to it again tonight. Like, it was dope. Yeah,
I guess what I'm doing as soon as this is over.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Jordan, what have you heard today?
So, I'm taking Afro-Cuban drum set lessons right now.
Really?
So, I was listening to Isaac Delgado today, and also I have a Yellow Card CD in my car right now. So I've kind of been just like vibing to I think the album name is Ocean Avenue, but like all those songs.
Yeah. So nice. Those are good times, man.
Yeah.
You like to get in the car and just relax and remember the good times.
Like, we gotta work up the cover.
Yeah.
Which
I've been wanting to
cover?
I've been wanting to. I forgot what it was called, but I sent it to you.
Yeah.
It's like the acoustic one.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So we got a Yellow Card Have Near cover coming soon.
Maybe.
Coming soon. You guys are playing a show this weekend, right?
Yeah. Jesse Guerrero set it up. With I don't know if he was the sole person who set it up, but DIE, Dallas Indie Entertainment, they set that show up. It's with Lilac Kings and Animal Jam and a few others, and we're stoked to play that one.
That one's got me. I love Lilac Kings. I love when they come down from Oklahoma. I saw those guys play a long time ago when they came down for the first time, and then once they talked to Nick from Die, he was like, I'm gonna bring them down as often as I can. So that's usually who they come through. So like DIA, that's usually where they're coming through, and Animal Jam is just great. It's just fantastic. Yeah. I love seeing it. But I saw that you guys are on the same like bill. I'm like, that's really cool. I was actually very excited because I thought it was last weekend and I thought I missed it, and I'm like, I am so mad right now. And then I popped up again and I'm like, it's this weekend. Like, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to Future You. They're on that bill too.
They are.
And they're up and coming. Like, they just, I think, dropped their first maybe song or two and a video. I think that this is maybe like their second or third show.
Oh, wow.
But I'm really excited to see them play too. Our like bass player Mario, he works with the guitar player from that band, and so they're buddies, and like it's gonna be fun.
See what I'm talking about? Connections. It's all, especially around here. Like you know one musician, like it's like that 6 degree separation, except it's like 3. Like around here,
like 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like from here there. Yep. Yeah, I know them. Is the entire band based out of Denton, or like are you guys all spread over kind of?
We are based out of Denton, actually. Yeah. Right now, it's changed here and there. We've had like a few different members. Right now, like the lineup is like the most solid it's ever been. I feel like we're just gonna keep with this. Like,
with this lineup.
Yeah, like forever.
How long have you guys been? When did you guys start?
The whole project started in 2019. I started writing like stuff that I thought was just gonna be like solo material, but then I like started jamming with him. And then it just turned into like, okay, let's find a bass player, let's find a drummer, let's find a guitar player. Like,
took a while.
It did take a while to find to find all the right people.
I'm guessing you went through a few, not weren't winners.
Everyone
say that.
It's like everyone that we worked with was fine, and like we had good times, and it's just that it's the best it's ever been right now.
Yeah,
so.
It's just. Like I said, you'll play with a lot of like good people, but there's just the right ones that just the puzzle piece like fits. You know what I mean? And that's like, okay, we work. Not only can we write music, not only can they play music, but like you guys can hang out together. You guys talk to each other, and like there's little things like that where you, if you don't have that type of, it's just chemistry. If you don't have that type of chemistry, it's kind of hard to keep a band going, which entails it's just a small community. It's your family that you get to pick, so you have to be able to kind of vibe with them, get along with them, and be again communicate with them. Something as simple as that is hard. Like sometimes for people, not only because they're not good at it, sometimes because they can't, they're busy. So you find people that kind of fit that thing. So I mean. It took a while, but like you said, you came to you guys have come to like the most solid like lineup that you guys have had. So I'm sure that's gonna help with again every future like project that you guys have working on, which like you said, you're going into the studio. Do you guys have that done, what you're thinking about recording, or is it something you're going to kind of write in the studio?
We have it done because we like to plan ahead. I feel like we're all like planning type people, but because we're paying for studio time. We're recording with Michael Briggs here in Denton. He's recorded a lot of great artists, and he, so we're gonna go in for a day and knock out 3 songs, and we know which 3 we're doing already. So
got them all like solid and just like going in there, especially if you're paying like just for one day. It's like we have to make sure like we know what we're doing.
Don't want to waste any time, but we're still like, I think we're still maybe like perfecting all the parts and kind of still writing. We'll probably keep writing all the way up until the date, which is like in mid-December. But yeah, we know what songs we're doing in general.
Okay. How do you normally approach, I mean, I know with writing, you said you normally approach like a skeleton. As far as like how you guys develop like the style that you're after. I know you like initially you started with like, like you said, doing some stuff that you thought was going to be solo. How did that grow into kind of like the bigger sound that required like a full band? Because I'm sure that's how it built, where you kind of noticed like, okay, let's add drums to it. Okay, no, now we need to add all this stuff to make it complete.
Yeah, I guess like whenever I was writing the initial material, I had no genre in mind. I didn't have any style exactly. I just had this random like tuning that I had created on my guitar, which it was just like some random open tuning that I made, and I started trying to write songs in that style, and they were all kind of coming out the same. And then I knew like from the beginning I wanted other instruments like drums. I knew I wanted everything, but I just thought it would be like me doing it, me recording it, me producing it, and just kind of releasing it just to just for fun, basically. But yeah, I don't know, like going into writing material with other people, like once we had somewhat of a solidified lineup and we were going to write our self-titled EP, we did talk about like some of our influences and like kind of like what kind of sounds we were going for. But I guess like each instrument in the band definitely has its own, because each person is playing, from their own like heart basically, and so I think the combinations of each person really made the style what it is. No matter how much I love one band, like every other person in the band loves some other band. So like if I just, I guess if I just am thinking, I want to sound like this band, if I add those other 3 people into the equation, that's not going to happen. But that's not what I want to happen, really.
At the end of the day, it still can't just be your thing because it's a collective thing.
No, I don't want it to be at all either.
Yeah, which is, like I said, in this case, because you want it to be a collective thing, that's the good thing about that. It's like just like no matter how much your idea is just here, you're always going to get those other like 3 inputs that's going to create something into what like Have Near has become. You know what I mean? Like because everybody else added their own styles and added their own influences. And you're right, like every one of those band members has their own unique set of, influences that they're gonna want to add to that you might, even if you guys listen to the same music, there's still that one piece that in the same, like if you guys listen, let's say Beach House, you know what I mean? You love Beach House and you do too, but one part it's you in a different way than it ever does his. So you use that influence to write the parts that you write, and it's really nice and it's beautiful. It just and it also makes for like butting heads at times and not figuring it out, but that just comes with it. You know what I mean? Like it I feel like it should be easy to a degree, but yeah, you're also gonna have people to not kind of gel with the same idea you want to write.
Do we butt heads?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was throughout this whole conversation, I was kind of thinking like, I'm not super hip to really any bands like similar to our style. So I'm kind of pulling from like I mean, I grew up on like classic rock, and like the only stuff sort of similar to this would be like everything on Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, I learned so much music from Guitar Hero, honestly.
Really?
And like I kind of listen to like more chill alternative stuff, like but in terms of the music that our first EP was, I kind of really think of like bands that I've really studied that are like similar to that stuff.
Yeah.
So to sum all that up, like I kind of know what I want to sound like, but Sam kind of knows this genre better.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'm like, okay, like I know you kind of know like what you're talking about. So yeah.
Do I though?
but this is the cool thing that you offer. You offer a way to make that genre unique enough because you're adding something to it that doesn't normally belong to it. You know what I mean? Or something like, again, like it's just making that style, making your own. You can't just copy what like another band sounds like and it's like, okay, this is that genre, let's be this band, because that's, you're just gonna write their music, you know what I mean? Or you know, attempt to, you know, but once you, those, like I said, and that's what I mean by those little added influences that, you know, no matter how much like that butting that head is, if some of it will bleed through and will cause it to, I don't know, transform into something new. You know, it's still that genre, but now you have a band. Now you have the way you guys play that genre, and yeah, it's always transforming. It's always, you're listening to new things every day. You know, that just hit a little bit different. Some stuff makes sense now that didn't make sense when you were, you know, younger, or vice versa. And so you kind of, you know, just grow out of some stuff and then grow into a lot of other things and kind of just regain those influences. But I think that's the benefit of a unique perspective. The problem, like, is that when you have a lot of them, like when in my old band, is that everybody had way crazy different like styles of music that they listened to, and we were trying to bring them into one band. And it worked, but then you would listen to like the music we played, it's like, oh, one song sounds way the hell different than the other one. Like, so there's like, they're too separate to be the same band. They sounded like they were different, you know, bands that were playing. I was like, oh, okay, so that's where the issue ran. So you do need some sort of like conformity or something to kind of, you know, I guess like cling on to some general idea, and then let's, you know, spike off here and there. It's kind of like to make it unique,
like a through line through all the songs, something that makes them, oh, like that's a Have Near song. Like you hear it and that's like, oh, that's, you know, that's like a weird thing for me to think about, because I've never thought that someone else would think, oh, that sounds like a Have Near song, you know. But you know, now we have a new guitar player named Noah Myers. He's like adding a whole other level to
Jordan's excited about
the band. That's Jordan's buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like you were just saying, when some of the members of the band know the same style, but then others don't, it's like whatever they add is gonna be adding. You're basically adding to that genre now. Like you're you could say you're in this genre of music, but now you're like expanding the genre, because you just have somebody in that band who's like writing completely different stuff that was never in that genre before.
Yeah, it's a fresh take on it, I feel like, on the genre. And like I said, everybody's going to have a fresh take on it, whoever decides to play that genre, because they're listening and playing that genre based on the influences they grew up, and everybody's are unique. They're unique. Nobody grows up listening to the exact same thing somebody else did, because it's not only music that influences you. It's like stuff you watch in movies or things, interactions, or the way. Initially, I talked to a buddy of mine named Ryker, and we were talking about how sometimes you get influenced not by a particular like sound or even a look of anything. It's the feeling you got when you heard this type of song. It's like, okay, so I'm chasing, how do I get someone else to feel this through something that I can write, not, you know, the sound in per se. So I feel like that's just gonna add like to the genre, and I feel like it has, based on the lineup you guys have and the music you guys dropped. And I'm excited as heck to hear what you guys have planning next. Especially,
It's
I know
different.
you guys are. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, how different?
It's
You don't have to tell me what it is.
what is it more? It's different for sure. It's not like as. It's not like as. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like as rock.
It's more chill.
It's a little bit more chill, but yet there's still songs that are faster tempos than any of the songs we've ever put out. So like it's more chill, but like we still got stuff that, you know, I guess sometimes I think about like what's the intention with this song? Like what do we want people to feel? What do we want people to do at a live show? You know what I mean? Like do we want them to move? Do we want them to mosh, dance? Like do we want them to like kind of relax? What's the intent of the song? And in the perspective of the audience, I guess. And like with these new ones, I don't know. I mean, I've grown up like going to metal shows, going to rock shows, loving punk shows, and just like enjoying moshing and that whole thing. I think I want to offer something new and try something new and like, you know, see what we can do besides that.
I completely understand that. Like I said, I've played in a metal band for a few years, and the next project I'm working on, we were asking like the members like, what do we want? And I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to get people to dance. Like,
absolutely.
You know, wouldn't that be cool? I was like, because I started seeing bands like playing around, and people were dancing to them like and. That's like stuff like I ran into Kyoto Lo-Fi, who was like, I don't know, it's just the music was just it was so good. But I saw people dancing to it. Meech Pango, their shows like go crazy and they're like having a fun time, and I was like, that's nice. I was like, like, you know, people like with moshing, I was like, it's a feeling, you know what I mean, like getting people to mosh and do that, and I'm like, you know what, but now like I want people to dance. And like I said, again, there's no bad with the other. It's just like, oh, now I want to do that. Like, how do I do that? And it's figuring it out and seeing if you can. But like I said, that just goes with taste changing, with what you want changing. And there's definitely nothing bad. And I'm sure everybody who's like followed you guys up to now and listening to or just started listening to, like, you know, like I'm among one of those. Who just started, like, even though I just started to listen to what you guys put out, I'm still excited to see what the changes already. Because again, it's still coming from you guys. It's still coming in a natural progression of where your music is going, and music is always going to progress, you know? So I'm glad that you guys are being able to take risks. I feel like not a lot of people want to change like their style, especially if like people are liking it. But I think as a musician, you kind of want to spoil yourself a little bit and be like, no, I want to do something kind of different. So again, I'm really happy that you guys are doing that. So you guys are recording at the end of the year. Is this just one last show this year? You guys have a few more planned?
We have another one on December 10th in Fort Worth.
December 10th in Fort Worth. Nice. Yeah. Where's that at?
It's at Ridgely.
Oh, Ridgely.
Yeah.
See, Ridgely Theater. Nice. Well, man, thank you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm hearing it storm, and I'm like, man, I got to drive in that on the way back. But I'm really happy that you guys took the time out to talk to me today. I appreciate that, and I know we like loved you at Chill Sounds. I know I think I talked to one of you briefly. Oh, I think actually it was Jordan, because or somebody, because you guys were using the previous band's drums, so that was Daniel.
Yeah.
And he was passing out from a heat stroke in the back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's why I came back out and saw like a part of your set, but like I was back there, I was like, what's happening? And one of the guys checked him out. He's like, yeah, you're having a heat stroke. Because, like, Connor, I don't know if you guys know Connor Wisteria, but he's, like, an EMT.
Yeah.
And he checked him out, and he's like, yeah, you had a heat stroke, dude. He's like, when was the last time you eat? And he's like,
water,
I don't know, 2 days ago? I'm like, 2 days?
Damn, son.
Like, what? And he had, like, his food that he bought that morning was literally sitting on the counter because he didn't eat it at all. Because he was running around, like, trying to organize.
He was just doing the thing for everybody, man. He was, like, putting the festival together.
Again,
which was a dope festival.
It was a fun time. It was a very fun time, fun day. That just the atmosphere of it was really nice. Having the people skating outside was so cool while bands were playing.
Super unique, man.
Yeah. So I'm hoping not hoping. I definitely know we're gonna keep that going. And I'm sure we're gonna keep in touch with you guys and see what you guys are up to later on. I'm sure I'll probably asked to talk to you again once the album drops and see what's going on there once the new songs drop. But yeah, again, thank you for taking the time to come out. I appreciate you, Sam, Jordan.
Thanks, man.
Check out everything Havnia. I'll get all their links, put it at the bottom somewhere. Check out their shows this weekend. Actually, you probably won't because this won't be out by then. I will post about it.
Come to Ridgely on December 10th.
Yes, it'll be out by then, December 10th. Again, thank you guys. Havnia.
Thanks, OC.